What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. It's so interesting to me who Clint Oldenburg aligns himself with. He comes out here and he appreciates this guy's kind words, talks about how rare they are to see, and how uncomfortable he is with gaming critics talking about people instead of the game. Clint, it's uncomfortable because of the state your game is in. And what's funny is this gentleman you agree with goes on to say Madden isn't even a game, it's a sport. Competitive Madden is awful right now, Clint. And that's not saying anything bad about you or current pro Madden players, but rather the state of the game. Competitive football is not in Madden, and the enjoyment has been removed for many fans. It's not the ability of the player, it's not the knowledge of football, it's what MUT cards you own and what exploits you have in your pocket. Let's talk about user control just briefly. If you're in a racing game, very simple concept. You lose control, you're going into the wall. If you're in an open world environment, you lose control, you're going off into oblivion. Now, the game I'm going to talk about here was broken down perfectly by Joe Van but understand this concept right here is not in Madden. And when you talk about a pro Madden player, you need to understand it is their job. So their pay varies on how far they can get in a tournament. In this case, 40 people, $1.5 million. In a real sport, people exert themselves physically. In a video game, all that is done through a controller. At the simplest level, when there's no longer user control, there needs to be adverse behavior. Yet in Madden, the concept is just not there. At this moment, Drini is looking down. His controller is broken. And despite being on defense, the nearest player that he's controlling does not stop pursuing the ball carrier, but rather continues downfield and makes a tackle. In any other game, practically, loss of control has a dire consequence. The player would stop moving. There's no input for Drini. He's looking down while the tackle is being made. Yet in Madden, the game continues along. They do a split screen. He is still looking at his controller. At this point, the announcers have no choice, based on the video, to say his controller is frozen. You can actually hear him talking about not being able to pick a play. And this is where you lose fair and competitive balances. The AI controls way too much of this game, and to me, this series is proof. The best Madden players should dominate the CPU. I want you to look at Mills' face very carefully here, because as Drini cannot pick a play, he comes out in a different defense because the all Madden, Ask Madden defense has been selected for him. Now, even the announcers say that he doesn't have the right defense, he doesn't have his defense set, but look at what happens. As Mills goes to run this ball, the AI is going to shut down a pro Madden player. Now, this is 7-3, fourth quarter, 3 minutes to go. This is the game. The reality here is an elite Madden player in a tournament is being shut down by a computer-controlled defense and play calling that is acting as the user and making plays. Stick skills are a non-factor. I'm not saying you can't get better, but I'm saying this shows to you stick skills don't matter. Now, Mills actually tries to do a no-huddle once he realizes Drini has no control, which I think is a little bit inconsiderate in the spirit of competition, but he's doing what he has to do to win the game. Now, he sits back here as I've got this game won. I'm playing against a guy that isn't even playing. And as you can see, what's going to happen is out of that scrum is going to break out, and one of the quote-unquote user-controlled players comes over and makes a textbook open field tackle in what would have been surefire touchdown. And you can see Mills' reaction to this. He's astonished. He just got shut down 2 times. Now, the 3rd time, he breaks to the outside again. The same thing happens. You have a pro Madden player that cannot beat the CPU. Look at him sit back. Watch Drini. I want you to understand that right now, it's going on 4th down. Drini has one hand out. And look at the timestamps I kept here. 29:26. 3 seconds later, his other hand is on his head. Why is that? Because he did not have control of the player. And he's watching a competitive Madden game be dictated by the complete controlled defense of Madden, of AI. If you play this game and you wonder, why am I not good at this game? Why do I have problems online? Because the computer does way too much. The computer will literally play the game for you, as proven here. How much more significant of a game do you need to see? It is 7-3, fourth quarter, 3 minutes to go. And you're telling me that the AI is capable of not only selecting plays, but controlling players to shut down what is known to be one of the 40 best Madden players. And you're going to tell me this game is a sport? You're going to tell me this game is competitive? You're going to tell me this deserves to be viewed as professional football? No, sir, it does not. And Clint, if you take that personally, I'm sorry. But in a way, you should. We deserve a better product, we deserve a better game, and we most importantly deserve to not be embarrassed on national TV looking at a video game that clearly does way more than it should, not in the spirit of competition, but in the spirit of simply having a game that is completely overrun by animations. We've talked about it for years, but now you've shown everyone just how little user skill is needed in this game. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. And you know I will be back in the week with more comments.